You ever have that feeling, that sense that you're capable of so much more, but there's just something invisible holding you back? Well, that is the exact world we're about to dive into with the resonance of the passage. Together, we're going to explore the incredible journey of Kael, the main character, and really unpack the powerful ideas at the heart of his story. Okay, let's get into it. Wow. Right from the get-go, the novel just throws us right into the emotional deep end with this absolutely devastating line from Elena. I mean, it's one sentence, and it just shatters a relationship. It perfectly frames Kyle's entire conflict. See, this isn't about a lack of love or potential. It's about a fundamental instability. It's about an internal ground that's just constantly shifting beneath his feet and the heartbreaking fallout that has on his entire life.
All right, so what exactly is this shifting sand? Where does it come from? Well, the first part of the book is all about diagnosing the problem, a problem that has been silently defining his whole existence.
The author gives us this absolutely brilliant metaphor to help us get our heads around Kael's struggle. Okay, so on one hand, he's got a Ferrari engine. We're talking brilliant, charismatic, just loaded with potential. But his reality, it's like a timing belt that's constantly slipping. The one piece that's supposed to sync everything up is just broken. And this creates this maddening, frustrating gap between who he could be and who he actually is. And here it is. Here's the root cause. This isn't a character flaw, it's not a moral failing, it's a neurological scar. The glitch, as it's called, is the lasting damage from untreated childhood seizures. That trauma literally carved disconnection into his brain, leaving him with what the book so beautifully calls a scattered soul. And this is such a key point. His lifelong struggle comes from his physiology, not from a lack of willpower. But of course, a life of just passively suffering, that can't go on forever. So now, let's get to the turning point, that amazing moment when Kael stops being a victim of his own mind and starts becoming its architect. And you know what's wild is how quickly the transformation begins. He's 47, he's hit absolute rock bottom, and in a moment of sheer desperation in a library, he does something strange. He starts reading aloud. And in just 5 days, this simple act triggers this massive realization that completely changes the entire course of his life. So what's going on here? This isn't some kind of magic. It's straight up neuroscience. The book introduces us to this idea of the phonological loop. Basically, by hearing his own voice, Kael is creating a feedback mechanism in his brain. The sound, the actual physical vibration, it acts like an anchor for his scattered thoughts. It's like a thread that starts to stitch his fractured attention back into one solid piece. It's the moment he finally finds the tool to fix that slipping timing belt.
And this is the epiphany. This single thought just reframes everything. It's a huge shift from a lifetime of shame to a future of strategy. For the very first time, Kael sees his problem not as something wrong with him, but as a mechanical issue, something that can be fixed. He wasn't broken, he was just uncalibrated.
So, armed with this new understanding, Kael creates a prescription for himself. He doesn't just sit around hoping for change. No, he engineers it. He builds this systematic protocol designed to rebuild his brain from the ground up. His recovery plan is built on 3 really powerful pillars. First, thermal stress, using cold to basically shock his system into clarity. Second, brain growth, using intense physical exercise to forge new neural pathways. And third, cognitive anchoring, which is just continuing the very practice that started this whole thing. Okay, now let's look at the mechanics, because this is where the book gets so compelling. The cold exposure, that spikes norepinephrine, which gives him this chemical clarity. The heavy lifting, that produces something called BDNF. The book calls it miracle grow for the brain, which helps grow and repair those pathways. And reading aloud, that becomes a direct workout for his prefrontal cortex, the CEO of the brain. You see, every action has a direct, specific neurobiological goal. He is literally actively rewiring himself. So the big question is, does it all work? Well, the last part of the novel gives us a resounding yes, and it shows us this incredible transformation in every single part of Kyle's life. And the proof isn't just a vague feeling. You can actually quantify it. The same guy who is drifting aimlessly through life is now commanding a boardroom. He secures a $5 million investment. And he does it not by trying to act like some young tech genius, but by using the wisdom from his own life, his experience, and that new, powerful, focused resonance of his own voice. But, money is one thing. For me, this is the personal proof that really hits home.
His own sister, Maya, who had seen him as this lost, falling boy his entire life, she finally sees the real man who was trapped inside. You're finally here. It's just this beautiful, emotional moment that proves the internal calibration created a real external presence. The man of shifting sand has finally found solid ground. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Ultimately, Kael's whole journey delivers this incredible message of hope. It's a powerful argument that we are not prisoners of our past or our biology. Our brains are adaptable, they're malleable, and with the right tools and the right mindset, it is never, ever too late to change your life and find your own resonance. And that brings us right to the central question that the book leaves us chewing on, which is a perfect place for you all to start your discussion. After everything Kael went through, what do you think truly defines success? Is it some innate strength of character you're born with? Or is it the patient, deliberate act of calibrating our own minds?